So I'm delighted to have the opportunity today to have a conversation with a very old friend of mine, Päivi Sillanaukee from Finland. And really, this is an opportunity for us to get an insight into what's going on in Finland and why Finland. But let me introduce Päivi first. Päivi, would you like to introduce yourself and also, more relevantly, your role, because it's a very unusual role.
Thank you, Charles. Yes, actually, I have been now having this ambassador for health and well-being for 2.5 years now here. During this governmental period, actually, a part of it. We are getting towards parliamentary elections now, and let's see what happens then after that. But it is really, it has really become an important role during this period. So I have been a long time in different positions at the social and health services and policy at the local, but also at the government, at EU, and also global health levels. And I'm a physician. My background education is a physician, but I have also studied humanities and then economy. Actually, MBA has also that. And I think that all these has come very well together, if I think my position now. I have also served as a permanent secretary at the Ministry of Social Affairs and Health, which is the highest civil servant position. So I have been working with the government from that side in Finland, but also then EU and globally. And we also had EU presidency during that,
yes,
that period, and health and was then also a big topic there, and we are known actually as an innovative country, and we proposed then again a new way of thinking. 2006 we proposed and took on the table the definition of health in all policies.
Yes.
And it has been implemented very well. And now
it's been implemented in different parts of the world. Even in the United Kingdom, attempts were made to do that under the Blair government all those years ago. So
yes, and now we introduce then economy of well-being. And now I come to your question. So what is my role? Actually, my role has been now, I have been situated and positioned here in Ministry for Foreign Affairs. And I have had a possibility to work quite in a flexible way, and trying then to do collaboration and facilitate collaboration inside the Ministry of for Foreign Affairs, where development and trade and foreign and security policies are here. But then bridging then ministries of social affairs and health and Ministry for Foreign Affairs. Actually, both ministries pay my salary. I'm not getting a double salary, sadly, but they are.
This is really sharing. Difficult stuff, Päivi. This is very difficult stuff because not everybody may be aware, but working to get government to coordinate its actions is extremely difficult, especially when one has established ministries, and what you're doing is bridging different ministries with a health message. For some ministries, health is not necessarily the first thing they think of.
Actually, it hasn't been a focus area here in the Ministry for Foreign Affairs for us, so Ministry of Social Affairs and Health has been there working more closely than with Ministry of Economy and Employment. Which then has the interface for private companies, and then also Ministry of Education, and we then began to work during 2014 with so-called health sector growth strategy. And that was also like 3 ministries, and we having in Finland also a coalition government. Those 3 ministers then came from different political parties. So it has always
another level of challenge. Another level of challenge, one politically, and secondly, in terms of structurally and bureaucratically. I mean, that's really hard. But you've described Finland because a lot of people don't quite understand Finland. And what is this secret sauce? Everyone says there must be some secret sauce to Finland, because this is a little country at the top of Europe, which seems to be able to punch above its weight consistently. It's known as a center of innovation. We're having the Radical Health Festival there because it is such a place. It is the place where you see innovation, everything from cancer going back years. So what is this secret sauce? Could you describe it?
I think one is that we have always had the as I mentioned, the compromising and having to compromise and collaborate with different sectors, because we have had this coalition government and multiple parties, political parties in our government. So that they have to agree on. They can't go with their own policy and focusing only to those issues they would like to support. So always this compromising has been. Then I think that the position we have now got, there is so-called DESI index, which is digital economy and society index, which then shows that how high you are then ranked. And Finland is number 1 there. Yeah. So it shows that we are then the most digitized and very highly digitized country. And how is that possible that we have this availability and access to data which is needed if we think about digital society? So that comes then from 1960s, when the welfare society actually was and took its first steps. Then political parties then decided that we will have taxation-based welfare society, and then that everyone would have the possibility for free education, but also for those social health services they need. And because that was paid from the taxation money, so there was incentive then for public sector to try to do and develop effective processes, because there wasn't so much money available, and in our constitution even we have then the right for these issues. So it has to be then somehow organized, and then to be able to then pay all the allowances or benefits and give the opportunity and access to these services, social and health services, for example. So we needed registers, and we have had then quality registers, data registers since then. So we have for decades had, for example, for cancer, we have registers since 1950s.
Yes.
So we have gathered this.
It's very well known, of course, as the place which probably has some of the best longitudinal data in the world. But it's really interesting, because what you describe is a situation which, to a degree, was, if one had to plan to do it in a country without from a clean sheet of paper, one would use a similar approach to the Finnish approach. In essence, you forced digitization. The country forced digitization on itself, and forced the fact you are going down this path itself, perhaps inadvertently, but you somehow managed to do it. And I think this is absolutely fantastic. So I think this is great. We don't have much time, and I want to just finish on one issue, which I think is also really important, and you're showing the way to the world here. And it's your ingestion of social care data within Kantar. This is an enormous challenge. And you've been trying to actually do this by the end of this financial year. So this is an enormous challenge. And inevitably, it's going to take some time before you get the ontology and the structure of that right. But could you talk to us a little bit about that?
Yes, we are, because we are the fastest aging country in Europe and the second fastest aging country then globally. So there is a lot we have to then organize so that the social and health do integration more, and we can integrate those services more and support people. And people here are really used to use digital tools, and we have these capabilities, we have infrastructure here, and people just love devices and so on. So also elderly people can, there is a high capability and capacity in those for using digital services. And of course, we are quite big country and remote areas, so that is also needed. And we are that's why we succeeded the COVID time, for example, quite well, because people were used to use then also those remote services and digital services, and people trust here in Finland the public sector.
Yes, and that is another unusual thing about Finland. The level of trust is much higher than in a lot of other European countries.
It is really needed. I mean, the trust, but it is not easy for politicians. It has needed then transparency. So there is a really big transparency and legislation behind those registers, and we are also then following the way and checking the way how the data is used. That is how the trust is then built, that people know that you get accused if you go to see the data that you are not allowed to do. And that's why we have been able to get the opt-out systems here so that the data is accessible there then for use, but and also for research and development purposes, not only for primary use. And that is what we are aiming now with the social data also, to get that so that we could then form better services and that we could get then better know-how on people's situation. Because if we think especially for the personalized care system, it's not only the health services, but we need so much information and know-how also on the environment and behavioral things. And actually, I think that there is no use to develop AI tools if you don't have then behavioral data and also then biological data, because then those solutions would really serve people in their everyday life. And that is also one thing that the solutions we have been developing here in Finland, they have really helped people in their everyday life, and that has also built the trust. And we have the largest startup society here. We also offer then possibilities for startups, and there is a lot of, as you mentioned, innovation capability here and willingness. It's somehow also built in our culture and inside us that we have to innovate to survive.
So we have an opportunity. We have the Radica Health Festival.
Yes.
This is going to be in June. This is going to be an opportunity to showcase what Finland can deliver, but most also relevantly, it's an opportunity for the rest of the world to showcase what they can do to Finland, and for us together to learn how perhaps we can adapt.
Absolutely. And as you said, Charles, I would really focus on that collaboration. And we Finns are really open to develop solutions which are not only for Finns. Of course, we are a small population here. The language is spoken only by 5.5 million people, so we know that if we establish something and would like to then export it, so there need to be communication between other cultures also. And we are so willing to learn. So it's really easy with Finns then to collaborate and develop together, because we really would like to give people possibilities and researchers and companies possibility to come here, because we have then a secure and safe surroundings to use the data. The data is here available, but then we could together then use all the capabilities and all the know-how we have to build better world. That is also in our heart, like and especially here in health sector, we would like to then help with our capabilities then to be able to have access to better health services, more resilient societies for everyone in the world.
So this is our challenge. Our challenge is to ensure that by the end of the festival, to really ensure we use that opportunity to showcase what's best in the world, to adapt, to collaborate, to develop, and really to offer to the rest of the world, including lower and middle income countries, opportunities perhaps around everything from health security, digital health, wellness, precision medicine, genomics, epigenetics, the lot, opportunities to see how one can develop AI solutions which work, one can develop deployment of systems within the mainstream. And I think we're going to have a very busy time over the next few months. So thank you very, very much for this opportunity, Päivi. We had a good conversation this morning, and I hope it will continue and others will participate in this as well. I don't need to hope. This is going to happen. So
this is going to happen. Welcome to Helsinki.
Thank you.
Thank you.